Imagine a game with no story, no instructions, no fancy graphics, and no clear goal. A game that looks like it was built out of digital Lego blocks by someone who had never even studied game design. Now imagine that same game outselling every single video game ever created in the history of the industry, beating out legendary franchises like Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Mario, Tetris, and every other title you have ever heard of. That is not a hypothetical scenario. That actually happened, and the name of that game is Minecraft. Today, we are going to take you deep inside the real story of how a lone Swedish programmer, working in his apartment with basically no budget and no team, accidentally created the most successful video game of all time. This is not just a story about a game. This is a story about creativity, obsession, community, and the kind of magic that happens when the right idea meets the right moment in history. So if you have ever wondered how a pixelated sandbox game built in a few days became a global cultural phenomenon with over 350 million copies sold, stay right here. Because what you are about to hear is going to completely change the way you think about what makes something truly great. To understand Minecraft, you have to go back to a man named Markus Persson, known to the internet world as Notch, born in Stockholm, Sweden in 1979. Notch grew up in a household where his father introduced him to computers at a very young age. According to a widely cited 2010 interview Notch gave to Gamasutra, one of the most respected game development publications in the industry. He wrote his first game at just 8 years old on a Commodore 128 computer. That early obsession never left him. He spent years working at various game development companies, including King, the studio that later became famous for Candy Crush, but he never quite fit into the corporate mold. He was someone who wanted to build something entirely his own, something weird, something experimental, something that broke every rule the mainstream gaming industry had decided was non-negotiable. In 2009, Notch was browsing the internet when he came across a game called Infiniminer, developed by Zachary Barth. Infiniminer was a simple block-based building and digging game, and it sparked something in Notch's mind. He did not copy it. Instead, he took the core visual concept of blocks and began asking a much bigger question. What if you combined that block-based world with survival mechanics, crafting systems, and an open world that felt genuinely infinite? What if there were no levels, no end screen, no mission briefings, just a world where you could do whatever you wanted? Working in his spare time, sometimes at night after his day job, Notch began building what would eventually become Minecraft. According to the official Mojang Studios development timeline, the very first version of the game, known as the Cave Game Tech Demo, was created and shared online in May of 2009. It was raw. It was unpolished, but people saw something in it immediately. Notch released this early version for free on a gaming forum called TIG Source, short for the Independent Gaming Source. The response was small at first, but intensely enthusiastic. A few hundred people played it and started giving feedback. Notch kept building. He kept adding features. He added survival mode, which meant players could be killed by monsters. He added crafting, which gave players a way to turn raw materials into tools, weapons, and structures. He added a day and night cycle. He added dungeons. Every few weeks there was something new, and every time he pushed an update, more people showed up. According to data reported by PC Gamer and later referenced in the official Minecraft historical reco, RD maintained by Mojang, by the end of 2009 the game had sold around 20,000 copies at approximately $6 each. That is over $100,000, not from a publisher, not from a studio, just from a guy uploading a game he made in his apartment. By 2010, the numbers were accelerating in a way that nobody in the traditional gaming industry could fully explain. Notch left his day job and officially founded Mojang Studios with a small team including Jakob Porser and Carl Manna. The company was tiny, the office was modest, but the game was exploding. A major turning point came in the summer of 2010 when the game entered what Notch called its alpha phase. The alpha version was not finished, but it was already enormously playable. And Notch was selling it for around $13 with the promise that buyers would receive all future updates for free. Hundreds of thousands of people took that deal. According to Mojang's own historical data, Minecraft sold over 1 million copies before it even officially launched. That was essentially unheard of in the gaming world. Games were supposed to be finished before they sold 1 million copies. Minecraft had rewritten the rules. Now here is where the story gets even more interesting. Because Minecraft did not blow up through traditional advertising, there were no Super Bowl commercials. There was no massive billboard campaign. The game spread almost entirely through word of mouth and through a new platform that was just beginning to find its power. In 2010 and 2011, that platform was YouTube. A new generation of content creators, people who would later become household names in gaming culture, started recording themselves playing Minecraft and uploading those videos online. Channels dedicated entirely to Minecraft began attracting millions of subscribers. According to a report by the New York Times from 2014, Minecraft-related videos were among the most watched gaming content on YouTube for several years running, with some individual videos accumulating hundreds of millions of views. Kids who had never heard of the game watched those videos and immediately wanted to play it. Parents who had no idea what Minecraft was bought it for their children because those children would not stop asking. The YouTube ecosystem and Minecraft grew together in a kind of symbiotic relationship that neither the platform nor the game had planned, but both benefited from enormously. The official full release of Minecraft came on November 18, 2011, at a gaming convention called Minicon held in Las Vegas, according to Mojang Studios. Over 4 million copies had already been sold before that official launch date. When the full game released, it exploded even further. It launched on PC first, but over the following years it expanded to Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, iOS, Android, and eventually to virtually every platform with a screen. Each new platform brought a new wave of players. According to data published by Guinness World Records, Minecraft crossed the 100 million registered users milestone in 2014. By 2016, it had sold over 100 million copies across all platforms, and the growth did not stop there. According to data released directly by Mojang Studios and confirmed by Guinness World Records, total copies sold across all platforms have surpassed 350 million as of 2025. Making it the single best-selling video game in recorded history by a margin that is honestly difficult to wrap your mind around. But the commercial story is only part of what makes Minecraft so remarkable. The cultural story is just as significant. In 2012, researchers and educators began noticing that children were using Minecraft to learn in ways that traditional classroom tools had never managed to achieve. Kids were studying geometry, architecture, history, and engineering inside the game without even realizing they were studying anything at all. A non-profit organization called Minecraft launched a version of the game specifically designed for classroom use, and schools across the United States began adopting it. According to a report by EdSurge, an education technology publication, by 2016, thousands of classrooms across multiple countries were using Minecraft as a teaching tool. Microsoft, which had been watching all of this with enormous interest, eventually developed and acquired that educational version and transformed it into the official Minecraft Education Edition, which as of 2023 is used in over 115 countries and has reached more than 35 million students and educators worldwide, according to Microsoft's own published data. And yes, we have to talk about Microsoft. In September of 2014, Microsoft announced it was acquiring Mojang Studios and the Minecraft intellectual property for $2.5 billion in cash. His was one of the largest acquisitions in gaming history at that point. According to reporting by the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg at the time of the announcement, the deal shocked the industry not just because of the price tag, but because of what it signaled. This was a tech giant paying an almost incomprehensible amount of money for a game built by a handful of people using blocky, outdated graphics. A game that defied every conventional wisdom about what a successful product was supposed to look like. Notch himself left Mojang after the acquisition, stating publicly that the pressure of running something so large had become overwhelming. But the game went on without him, continuing to grow under Microsoft's stewardship through new updates, new dimensions, new biomes, and new features that kept the player base engaged year after year. Right here, if you have been enjoying this journey through the incredible history of Minecraft, this is the perfect moment to hit that subscribe button on the Inventor realm. We bring you stories exactly like this one. The real untold histories behind the things that shape technology, gaming, and culture. And we are just getting started. Subscribe so you never miss what we uncover next. Now back to the story, because there is something else that the raw numbers do not fully capture, and that is the emotional connection people have with this game. Surveyed data from the Pew Research Center published in their 2015 report on teens and technology found that Minecraft was among the most played games by American teenagers, cutting across gender, socioeconomic background, and age group in a way that almost no other game has ever managed to do. It became a kind of shared cultural language. Kids who had never met could bond instantly over Minecraft. College students in dormitories built shared servers. Families played together across living rooms and across states. Professional architects used it to prototype real building designs. Artists created interactive galleries inside of it. Musicians composed and performed concerts within its virtual spaces, with some of those events drawing tens of thousands of simultaneous online attendees. According to data reported by the BBC in 2021, a virtual concert series hosted inside Minecraft attracted audiences comparable to mid-sized real-world music festivals. The psychology behind why Minecraft works so powerfully is something researchers and game designers have spent years trying to understand. Dr. Judy Willis, a neurologist and classroom teacher whose work has been referenced in publications including Psychology Today, has written about how Minecraft engages the brain's dopamine reward system by providing constant, small achievements in an environment where failure is not catastrophic. You die, you come back, you lose your materials, you gather more. The game is endlessly forgiving, in a way that allows players to stay in what psychologists call a flow state, that zone of perfect engagement where a task is challenging enough to be interesting, but not so difficult that it becomes discouraging. That design philosophy, which Notch built almost intuitively rather than through formal research, turned out to be neurologically close to perfect for sustained engagement. There is also the matter of creativity. Unlike almost every other game ever made, Minecraft does not tell you what to build or why. It hands you a world and steps back. According to a study published in the journal Computers and Education in 2016, students who played Minecraft showed measurable increases in creativity metrics compared to control groups. And they also showed improvements in collaborative problem solving when playing in multiplayer environments. The game creates a kind of creative pressure in the best possible sense. A space where imagination is the only real currency, and where the only limit is the time and patience you bring to the experience. That is an extraordinarily rare thing for any medium to achieve, let alone a video game. Looking at the full arc of Minecraft's history, from a Swedish programmer tinkering at night to a 300-and-50-million- copy global phenomenon, embraced by educators, artists, musicians, architects, and hundreds of millions of players across every age group and every continent, it is almost impossible not to see it as one of the great creative success stories of the modern era. It is a story that should matter to anyone who has ever been told that their idea is too simple, too weird, too rough around the edges to be taken seriously. Because Notch never had a formula. He never had a marketing department. He never had a focus group telling him what his audience wanted. He had a genuine idea that he believed in, a willingness to share it before it was perfect, and a community that recognized something real when they saw it, and that combination turned out to be more powerful than $2.5 billion of industry polish and conventional wisdom. Minecraft did not become the best-selling game in history because someone planned it perfectly. It became the best-selling game in history because one person made something honest, and then got out of the way and let the world decide what to do with it. And the world, it turns out, had a great deal to say. 350 million copies and counting. And the number is still growing every single day. That is not just a sales figure. That is a statement about human creativity, about what we want when someone finally gives us real freedom, and about the kind of things that become eternal when they are built with genuine care. The Inventor realm will keep bringing you stories like this one. The real stories behind the inventions and ideas that quietly changed everything. If this video gave you something to think about, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And we will see you in the next one.